L'chaim. We took a long break, and it's not because I was in a natural sense totally exhausted. That's not, I was. But you know why? Because no one out there in video land, YouTube land, is responding to me. There's like such a lack of interaction. So you get tired just talking to yourself, talking to the screen, which is what I'm dissatisfied with. What I've been doing for the last few years. I give shiurim, I just talk to the screen. Very little, interaction, and I crave to have a real Rebbe Talmud relationship. I carry, aside from my own years of learning, which are not few. I don't want to give away how old I am, B'li'ayin hara. I'm Me'av Esrim, and longer. I say the name of Rav Breuer, who was the grandfather of my first cousins. They said every was him on Me'av Esrim. Ask, why are you limiting me? No, he died at the age of 98. Amazing, and he was quite lucid till the end. Halavai Aleinu. And that was back in the 70s or very early 80s. It was quite rare to live that long. Anyways, he was lucid till the end. He didn't have his Naira Malia, but he, from a solid mind. I met him a few times. Quite a guy, Rav Breuer. Very, very special person. Anyways, Halavai Aleinu, that Slilus Adas, just we should have also the Morei Naim. Ad, he made it really close to 100, back then, 40 years ago. But it was quite rare to reach it to that age, and then so B'tzlius Sadas, Baruch Hashem. Anyways, so I don't want to give away how old I am, but I have, quite a few years in Beis HaMedrash, of plowing away and trying to, pushing for Havana Satira. I carry with me the Torah of Rav Yaakov Weinberg and Rav Moshe Shapira. And I have other Rabbeim also I have to credit, but these are the two, the other Rabbeim, Havdu ben Chaim Chaim, who are still with us, would readily admit that, they shouldn't, they would understand. They would understand that I'm only mentioning Rav Moshe and Rav Yaakov, by name, because of their age, because of their godless Mishachma V'mala of all my other Rabbeim, and they would readily admit to that. So I mean no disrespect to anyone who was of positive influence on me over the years. And here I am, this is the loneliest Purim suit I've ever had in my life. I'm here all alone, in a very big house in Toms River. Came out here to try to branch out and be Marbit's Torah. And to date, I've only been here for 2.5 weeks, but community seems disinterested, and not one shul in particular. I'm talking about the general area. But then again, I'm asking myself whether it's the most realistic Purim I've ever had. We have to understand the theme of Purim is that we get past the fake. We understand that the Hester Punim is just a mask. And we understand it's just a mask. And it's not, doesn't reflect absolute reality. It reflects a mask that reality wears. Right, and this is what we understand on Purim. They understand, of course, in the big picture, big bottom line, right? That the evil is not a reality in its own right. It's to provide us with challenges, right? As we explain in our book, Nes B'Shushan. We spoke about this. Wrote about it extensively. It's the on Purim, we realize that we live in an upside-down world, where Oh, Yonim Lamata, at least we know it's fake. We know it's a game, and we're being graded on our performance. It's like you're being thrust into a obstacle course. The obstacle course is not reality. The obstacle, but you're graded on your performance and how you coped with it. Whether you imagine yourself being plucked into dropped into a video game, and you're graded on your performance, and that's it. And on this day, we know it's just a game, but we don't, that doesn't mean the game is sheker. We just take it for what it is. It's a challenge, and you're graded on how you respond. The world, Akash Baruch Hu's world is kulotov, kulotov. But you have the illusion, the mask of evil that you got to contend with, you got to fight with, you got to cope with, and you're graded on that. It's for your own benefit because you make tikkun. And you might ask, think about this for a second, okay? What can you fix in God's world? God's perfect, right? So whatever he made it is what it is, what it is, what it is, And if he made it that way, how can you make it better, right? It is what it is, it's what God wanted. No, the answer is that Rebbe Shalom also created a virtual reality, and you could fix that virtual reality. So to convert it from being, something that's anti-reality to being an enhancement of reality. It's like, you have this, thick covering, that's hiding a diamond. So you could chisel away on that covering that not just that you'll reveal the diamond, but that covering itself, whatever's left of it, will be an adornment of the diamond. Diamond, as bright as it shines, it's just plain white. Just it's a little bit boring. But if you put it into like a casing with a very nice design and it shines through that design, you set it like you set the stone in a beautiful ring. That's what we have to do with the virtual reality of Hester Punim, right? Which is from Hashem also, is that, okay, take this, pierce it so the real reality shines through, but don't just pierce it, add it on. Beside Tov mode, everything that Hashem made is Tov. But Tov mode, what's the Tov mode? So Chazal Darshan, Tov mode is Zahara. Tov is Ganen, Tov mode is Gehenna, Tov is Chaim, Tov mode is Hamisa, etc., etc., etc. Right? We pierce through the illusion, right? And when you take the illusion as illusion, that's when you could not just get through it, but whatever there is of it, refashion it, remold it to be an enhancement and a decoration, an adornment, a ma'od on the tov, like tov ma'od. And that's ma'od is osias adam. It's what we do. It's what we do. Right? And that's the side of Yom Kippur when you should do tshuva me'ava. And that's what Purim is, tshuva me'ava. Right? And we convert all the bad into good. What does it mean? Because we see it for what it is. We see it for the illusion that it is. And whatever reality there is in the illusion, because the illusion has a life source that comes from the Tov, otherwise it wouldn't exist. So those nitzitzis, those sparks of the good that are in the illusion, we reunite them with the goodness, and they schlep, whatever was remnants of that virtual reality to be a adornment, to be a decoration on the Tov. It makes Tov ma'od. Right? So I ask myself, as I'm sitting here alone, whether this is a lonely Purim or is this my real Purim? Yeah, for many years I was, in another community. I'm not going to say which, right? Which after 10 years I've decided, it's just not going anywhere, and I have a lot of Torah to give over. I have a lot that, I have a mission to impart clarity. I have a mission to give, Omek Kapshat in Torah, in all Chelkei Torah, Lumdis, Iyun, Halacha, Machshava, Kabbalah. Okay, if it's not going where I am now for 10 years, then I'm going to try somewhere else. So I took this rental in Tom's River, and so far in the 2.5 weeks I'm here, it's gatenished, and I'm wondering whether this was a mistake also. But Ein Simcha Katar Sasvekas, right? Best clarity is the best simcha. And it's interesting, that's a statement from the Rishonim. It's not a Chazal anywhere. People think it's a Chazal because it's a very ancient saying, but it's not. It's from the Rishonim. It's a Katar Sasvekas. But the amazing thing is, Amalek is Gematria Safek, and now you can understand why Purim is the biggest simcha. It's Simcha Katar Sasvekas. Right, getting out of doubt, right, which is what the Hester Purim causes doubt, causes us confusion, right? Causes doubt, causes confusion. It's as Mesilas Yesharim says, two types of darkness. There's a darkness where you just see nothing. That's one Hester Purim. Hester Purim, where it's, because it's dark, a statue would look like a real person, and a person could be confused with a statue. Right, which is more dangerous even, the confusion. And on this day, the sfekas, that type of Hester Purim of sfekas, of being in doubt and being confused and not knowing, what's what. Right, so on Purim it's lifted, and I ask myself, is this my lonely Purim? Is this my real Purim? Because a lot of times you can be surrounded by friends, but it's all just noise. They hang around you, they have a l'chaim with you, but are they really your friends? And if you have MS to give over to them, are they really listening? Are they really listening? Maybe, in my other Purims, it was just a lot of noise around me. There's a lot of noise. There was music. People came over. They ate my food. They drank my wine, and they kind of listened to what I had to say, but not really. And, okay. So now maybe this Purim is my real Purim, my real Purim, where I see that, in essence, I'm alone. I have not found my Talmidim. I've had Talmidim over the past here and there, and I could count them on the one hand, maybe two, maybe three hands, but not more than that. People I've had a real impact on, and I'm still in touch with them. It's amazing in my teaching career, which spans more than 30 years, 30 plus years, maybe 35 years. Of course, I'm only 27, but still, Baruch Shem, L'malam min hazman, l'chaim. And who am I in touch with? Who do I feel I still have a influence on? I can count them. But who's to say that any other Rebbe who's been in Chinuch is better off than I am? He had a lot of noise around him. Big, he had shiurim, and there was 50 guys in his shir. But how many people did he really have an influence on? How many people really cared what he had to say? How many people kept in touch afterwards to receive hadracha? Maybe this is not my lonely Purim, it's my real Purim. That we get past the mass, we get past all the noise, right? You get past all the noise. It's seeing the Hester Purim for what it really is. Hester Purim is from Hashem also. You also see what it is. It's not enough to know that it's from Hashem. We have to know it's from Hashem and what it really is. You see, that's the mistake the fools make, those who are just prisoners of their Yetzar, say, the Ra is also Tov. The Ra is Tov, Tov is Ra, and which is Eitzadas, Tov, Ra, right? So even on Purim, they don't get past it. You have to say that Hester Purim is from Hashem, and what does Hashem want with the Hester Purim? It is also from Hashem, but what does Hashem want from the Hester Purim? What does he want? Mauro said, it's a challenge. It's an obstacle course. It's a virtual reality, and you're graded on how you perform. And what you're expected to do is to pierce it. Not accept, it's from Hashem, so it's got to be good. No, it's from Hashem. And what does Hashem want from it? He wants from it that you pierce it. He wants that you subjugate it and you connect it to the Tov. Not that you revel in it, enjoy it. No, you're supposed to pierce it. You're supposed to subjugate it, right? And on Purim, we just have the power of that clarity of what it really is. Yes, it's from Hashem, and what does Hashem want from it? Right? He wants you to pierce it. He wants you to add it on. So on this day, the Ra is so malleable. It's like we have control over it because the rest of the year it's like a big struggle. This year it's like he's like our slave. It's so easy to collapse him and mold him and add him onto the kedusha, right? It's just a day of where it's like we said many times, Purim is a portal to the future. On this day, in the future we shech the Yetzer Hara. So shechting the Yetzer Hara refers to the klipa kasha of Amalek that cannot be the essence of Amalek. That's just pure evil. That has to be choisha kulan kashan tichla kisavim Mimshalas Biden. I mean Zodom and Aretz, right? That's kisavim Mimshalas Zodom and Aretz. Mimshalas Biden. That says the Ramchal. That refers to Amalek. That's just kashan tichla. It has to be like smoke. There's that aspect of the rod that's irreconcilable. But then there's also tikvat spia. The evil closes its mouth. That's a klipa raka that could be incorporated in kedusha. It won't speak out against the kedusha. We get to shut up and just go along with the kedusha. And if it goes along, it comes as an adornment. All right. And that's what it is. On this day, we see it has to burn. It's not like the other team. God forbid, there's no other team. Eno Movado. We see what it is. Hashem is challenging us, and He wants to see how we respond. On this day, we're just real with the Metzius of Ra, that it's not a Rishus Acher, because there's only Rishus Yachid, right? But we just get it straight. We understand. Right, we understand, the score, that it's not real, but we're graded with how we react to this virtual reality, how we don't give into it, but rather we pierce it, and how we seek to, whatever's real about it is what's annexable, if that's a real word, what can be annexed to Malchus Shemayim. That's the secret of the Ajla Baruch Chai. We spoke about this last night. The name of Isaac Chaver, that when you say the Baruch with the name of the other guy, it's like Sir La Zazo. Yeah, it's like, technically you blessed him, right? But you didn't really. You just, whatever's wrong with you, you sent to him, like the Sir La Zazo. It looks like a gift to the son, God forbid. But really, all it is that our Averis, we just throw back on him, and the evil collapses on itself like a black hole. And that's what happens on this day. And it's all because we put the Hester Purim in perspective. But putting it in perspective is Hester Purim is not the same as Horus Purim. It's not the same, right? It's smoke. It's a smoke screen that God created, and He wants you to respond to it. Respond to it b'derech haTorah. Resist it, pierce it, and conquer it. Right? That's the Gili of Purim. That's not a separate team. It's not a competing team. It's from Hashem. Hashem is testing you with it. Hashem is hiding behind it. But take it as what it really is, a mask. Don't relate to the Raz Tov and, Chas v'Shalom. Then if you relate to the Raz Tov, then you're still in Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. You haven't reached Ad Lo Yada to get beyond the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. So I ask myself, is this a lonely Purim, or is this a real Purim? That maybe when in the other place I used to live, I had more noise around me, but maybe it was just noise. Because how many real Talmidim did I have? How many times did I reach out? I want to open a Beis Medrash. I want to open a Bezdin. Things that have only brought To'eles and Tikkun, and I was rebuffed or ignored. All right? No, this is not a lonely Purim. This is a real Purim, where I'm getting to put my life in perspective. Right, it's beside Anshe Knesset Gdol. We spoke about this many times. What the Radziner says, right? That Anshe Knesset Gdol, that they said, "Hey, name Gvurosov, hey, Norosov." Even in the bad, they could see the Gvur Shem, they could see Nor Shem. How did they know what Daniel and Yirmiyahu didn't know? Because they went through the Nes of Purim. They saw what the Hester Purim is also a Purim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's just Nora of Hashem in a different way, in a different style, and the Gvur of Hashem in a different style, right? Yeah. So on this day, you just have to see reality. That when you're confronted with Hester upon him, see Hashem there also. You'll see Hashem there in the opposite of how you see him in the Hanhoga of Horace Purim, like we wrote in our book, Neis B'Shushan. So all I want to say is that on this day I see I'm all alone, and I do want to make one comment that when I was in Eretz Yisrael, one of the big lies that people said, me, when I moved back, to America after Balmanosa Ram, I just couldn't hold out for more than 22 years or so because the debts were accumulating. I do want to say one thing, right? In Eretz Yisrael, there's no money, sadly. And that's the way it's going to be until Mashiach comes. Even in the days of David HaMelech, one knows the Gemara being brachas because you don't give up on Daf Yomi, for the first 5 dafim. So you get to the daf that says that they come into David HaMelech every morning, say we need parnasa, and David HaMelech says, what can I do? Make economy. Who is parnasa? I say no, we can't. And a bor mismal and a kometz yosef and a bor mismal mechuli also. It was foretold that until Mashiach comes, Eretz Yisrael is always going to be, because beside Midas HaMalchus is Dala V'Aniyah. It's like a bottomless pit. Right? You can't do it. Israel cannot support itself from internal Israeli commerce. And that's why we need Torah license us to do Muchemes Rishus, to take in from other countries. Right? And when Mashiach comes, it's not necessarily going to change, but since Mashiach will rule over the whole world, so we will bring in all the resources from all the other countries, because the Midas HaMalchus is like a bottomless pit that wants to swallow and swallow and swallow. And that's what it means, Ein Kometz Masbias Ari, right? And, because Malchus Shemayim wants to incorporate everything. That's the secret of the Jewish appetite. Jews could just eat without end. It's amazing. It's like not just on Purim. I see it, any Jewish event is just food and food and food and food. I guess, the Jewish appetite has a certain levush. It's a certain expression of something in Kedusha, the Midah of Malchus, Knesset Yisrael, just has an unrelenting appetite to incorporate everything into Malchus Shemayim. Right? And Eretz Yisrael, which is the Mokum of Malchus Shemayim, it's just the economy is always in deficit. Always in deficit, always has to bring in. And Yom Purim, which was, we spoke in sadly I didn't record it, I spoke in a Nyko in Lakewood recently. Maybe I have to, aside from what I said in an earlier video, I should I have to work more, in Deal, New Jersey. I have to also invest more in Lakewood since I'm here in this area. One night, in Lakewood asked me to speak, and it went very well. And they bought my sefer. And so I explained, what we say in our sefer, right, on the days of Purim. That in Purim we renewed the Midah of Malchus within Golus. That's a chiddush. Externally, it's Akati Abid Achashver Shanad. Externally, but internally it's all Malchus Shemayim. Right? So in Purim, we eat and eat and eat. Malchus Shemayim has an insatiable hunger. It's beside the Mizbeach that just consumes and consumes and consumes. All right, so so in Eretz Yisrael, so I'm just saying, I'm going back to what I was saying. I'm amazed I didn't lose train of thought after all the alcohol that I drank. All right, so Eretz Yisrael, which is beside Malchus Shemayim, right? So of course the economy is always going to be in deficit. The economy in Eretz Yisrael is always going to be deficit spending until Mashiach comes. That which Shlomo Melech was an exception, that silver was like the rocks in the streets, and he says. That was the exception, that Shlomo was trying to make the total tikkun, right? The next greatest thing after him was Chizkiyahu. Okay, but it's Shlomo Melech was mamish me'ain the tikkun of Olam Haba. That's why when he inaugurated the Beis Mikdash, they didn't fast that year on Yom Kippur. It's an amazing thing, right? Okay. But otherwise, B'derech HaTeva Eretz Yisrael is just a place where the economy is in deficit, because it represents the Midah of Malchus. It just swallows and swallows and swallows, right? So I want to say one thing. In the 22 years on Eretz Yisrael, people were begging to hear Torah from me. They just couldn't pay me for it. They just could not pay me for it because Eretz Yisrael is poor, right? But in Eretz Yisrael, there was more demand to hear me and to hear my Torah, much more than in Chutz La'aretz. Just in Eretz Yisrael, you just couldn't pay me anything. Everyone was poor. So I just get the false narrative. You move back to America because in Eretz Yisrael there's nothing special. Stam, for the Kat Haletzim, Amalekim, Yeah, he moved back to America. Eretz is nothing special. Shtusim va'avolim, not to say I need to last for ish, right? We said it, that, right, or something like that. We said, quite a self-effacing psukim today in the Shir Shal Yom, right? No, of course I'm nothing, right? But in Eretz there was a genuine rutzon to hear my Torah. Just they couldn't pay me anything, and it was just accruing debt here in America, where Baruch Hashem, there is shefa. No one's interested. It's sad, it's sick. You know, you know, and a lot of times I seriously consider going back to Eretz Yisrael just for the sake of teaching Torah. Even though I know the parnasa will be, virtually impossible over there. What can I say? So whoever's catching this video, there's one person that was on, now he's off. Like I said, I have no, this is this Purim is the Purim of reality for me, right? Whoever is going to hear this video, whether now, whether later, I'm calling out to you. You want to learn Torah Semes, you want to learn the Torah of Yaakov Weinberg, Moshe Shapiro, and Mashiach Gati Matsasi in course of decades, whether it's Lomdus, Omek Ka'iyu, and Kloli Ashas, Kabbalah, I'm here for you. Reach out to me. Harchev Picha V'Amalehu. I'm looking for Talmidim. I'm looking for a community that wants to be Makabo, the Torah that I have to give and the Hadracha that I can give. And anyone who, share this video far and wide. Let this Purim be a v'na'afochu. First and foremost for Klai, so that we should finally have the Gula Shlema. And then, of course, in the Gula Shlema, everyone will find their proper place. Golus is displacement. And I am displaced. Right? I am not where I belong. I am not in a place where I could be mashpia, and there's people that want to be makabo, and in turn can also support me, so I could just be mashpia low daigus, and just concentrate on lilmod ulamed, right? But so Rosh first do and get us the hell out of Golas, right? Get the leftists out of power, right, and take down all the Sonei Yisrael, right? And everyone should have also their Yeshua B'Frat, that I should have my v'na'afochu from this state that I am right now all alone. I should have be mukaf, with Talmidim, and a community, right, that I could be mashpia to and be madrich, right, and we should all, steig, in the Havana Satira, right, and in Gadlus Satira, and in Tikkun Amidas, and in Kirva LaKadosh Baruch Hu, and in attaining higher and higher madrigas ad ruach hakodesh mamish, right? Because that's what we have to do in preparation. As the Rambam says in the Geras Taimon, Nevuah has to be restored before Mashiach comes, which is the inspiration of what it means. In the Emasai Kasimach, Shuma Zechav Chutza, so the Chovas HaTalmidim understands that until people can make Yehudim, and there's like a spitz of ruach hakodesh, a shtickle. Ruach HaKodesh in the world, right? That's when Mashiach comes. That's what Hasidus came, as opposed to the idiots that say Hasidus came to tell you that if you just get drunk and you wiggle your tuchas at the Aron Kodesh mitten davening, the Rebbe Shem loves you, and that's what he wants. As if God is gay and he wants you to shuckle your tuchas at it. No, he's not. You're lucky he doesn't strike you dead when you do that. All right. Okay. So the Chassidus was about reviving Nevuah and Ruach HaKodesh, which the Rambam says has to happen before Bias HaMashiach. And I'm here. I'm here for anyone who wants to steig, anyone who wants to grow, right? I'm here. Reach out to me. And if you're not going to be with me close geographically, at least let something good come out of telecommunications, and I could broadcast my Torah to you through these telecommunications. Like now, we could have a shaykhus, and I could be mashpia to you, and together we'll steig together, to attain Ritzon Yisbarach, to attain Omek, that the Rosh should, be mayor einenu b'Torasa, right? And so at the end of Purim, Hadar Kibbul Hashverish, the reacceptance of Torah, that is the reacceptance of Torah, not Art Scroll. Art Scroll is Chorban Torah. Art Scroll is Tisha B'Av. Purim is about, reaccepting the Torah that we're going to work, and we're going to break the Hester Panim that makes it hard to learn Be'iyun and B'omek HaHavana. We're going to pierce right through it. We understand that, it's just a challenge, and the bigger the challenge, the more schar we're going to get. And the harder you work to understand something, the more schar you get. And the harder you work to understand something, the more klippus you're breaking. And you're doing the tikkun of breaking the Hester Panim, which Hashem set up for you to break. Right? So Rebbe should help, right? That, we should get together. We should all be together. And anyone who wants to be makabel for me, please reach out to me. Right? And anyone who in principle agrees with my mission, please support me. Please support me. Right? And on this lonely Purim, I wouldn't have cared. It's not so much the social noise, but I'm surprised that the people who have not come to support my mission, like in the last 10 years. Like I said, Eretz Yisrael, no one has money, right? But there was a lot of bikush, there was a lot of yearning just to hear me, and every shul used to ask me to speak all the time, and I totally missed that. I miss, of course, Eretz HaKodesh, Lomi Baya. Right, but I'm asking you, anyone who's out there, anyone who's listening, please support my mission to spread Torah and Klal Yisrael. You need a tax deduction, Zelle to this number that I'm putting up, 917-612-4778. Oh, it didn't come out. 917-612-4778. Anyone who sells to that number, it goes directly to the nonprofit, our nonprofit. Dave Orden, I am alone. I am alone. I am alone. No, I'm sorry, David. I'm glad that you're reaching out, and it touches me that you're tuning in. But I am alone. I am alone. I feel that I just talk to walls. The one thing I realized in this Purim, that I'm here in the quiet, which is not a bad thing. Quiet is not a bad thing. But I said it's my reality Purim. It's my reality Purim. I am alone. I'm looking for Talmidim. Who wants to hear me? Who wants to be makabel from me? Zell to this number, 917-612-4778. Zell to that number that's on the screen. And it goes there. The contribution goes directly into my nonprofit, right? I'm sorry, David, I love you. You're one of my best Talmidim. When I said, I don't know, it looks like he clicked off. Unbelievable. Look at that. Talk about love me and leave me. Listen, David Orden, you were one of my closest Talmidim because you really got it. You really understood. When I was in that place where we met, you really heard my message. You really heard my message. And you are one of the few people that I was alluding to before that I could count on 3 hands maximum. And I hope we'll keep in touch, David. David, keep in touch. Right? And whoever's out there, keep in touch. It looks like I want to give a shout out to the people, the Yidden of Deal, New Jersey. There's a theory. My father, Alav Hashalom, who was only nifter less than 2 years ago. My father loved Spanish culture. He was a traveling salesman in South America. That's where he met the Klosenberger Rebbe. That's another way to donate, through my website. Right, so he fell in love with the South American Spanish culture. He loved Spanish guitar. He liked Julio Iglesias. Is he still alive, that guy, that Mushkas? My father liked his music. And my father picked up Spanish in no time. Like I said, when he went around in the 50s, Caracas, he met the Klosenberger Rebbe, met a lot of Rebbes that were there, fundraising after the war. And he's referred to my friend, the Klosenberger Rebbe. What was the story from Klosenberger Rebbe? He was at a Tish in Caracas in the 1950s, late 1950s. And the Rebbe's giving out shrine. My father, Yeka, he was not eating food from someone else's hand. No way, right? But the Rebbe zeroed in on him and said, pointed at him and said, my father couldn't refuse, Gadol B'Torah, and he went up there and he forced himself to eat the shirayim. For my friend, the Klosenberger Rebbe. Anyways, my father used to always joke, I speak Spanish. You know why? Because the Beckoffers that appeared in Germany in the 1500s, Baruch Hashem, as opposed to Chuck Schumer, who claims to be Jewish, right? And I say he's about as Jewish as George Santos. He's just Jewish because he says so. So George Santos is just as Jewish as him, right? Right. So Schmuck Schumer, right? Right. As opposed to Schmuck Schumer, right? I know my yichus on my mother's side all the way back to David HaMelech, and on my father's side, I know at least 500 years. I know I'm Jewish. Okay. And by the way, my golden retriever, Sonny, who was in doggy boarding, being that nobody came over today, we didn't have to put him in doggy boarding. But I want you to know that my golden retriever knows that he's a golden retriever with more certainty than most Jews know that they're Jewish, because he has a shtar yuchsin 10 generations back, right? I see, I see the local rabbonim. How many generations are really Jewish? All right. Anyways, the point I want to make is that. My father used to joke, maybe we'll really, where do we come from in the early 1500s? Turn up in Beckhofen in the early 1500s. Isaac Meyer Yud, right? Isaac Meyer the Jew, first Beckhofer in Beckhofen in the 1500s. Well, it's not that long after 1492. It must be. We're Sephardim. We are from Gole Sfarad. That's why I speak Spanish so fluently. So I used to joke. I don't know. There's something to it. Listen, Dave Orden, if you're still there, nothing personal, but some of my closest Talmidim were Sephardim. Or speaking of which, Yaakov ben Shushan, who I put out, the Nes B'Shushan. By the way, Nes B'Shushan is Gematria Evan Shasir. That's why I chose that name. Another reason. So whether it's Yaakov ben Shushan, Nebuch's not with us, but Joey Cavalier, Daniel Cavalier, Yuval Alon. Right now, all these Sephardim and deal with Eli Abasor and his brother Yisrael Abasor. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a few. Some of the best Talmidim ever were Sephardim. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe I just got to go to Deal, New Jersey next. Right now I'm enjoying the proximity to there. And we'll see. Looking for my next flight. But anyone who wants to be a part of what I'm trying to impart. David Orden, you said I'm not alone? Prove it! Be on an online cheer with me. Send me a donation. Prove it, right? The world's going to hell, right? I'm wearing my ducky hat because of Chadash Yomeinu Kedim. I gave a whole schmooze on that last night when I'm wearing my ducky hat, right? But, generally on Purim, I wear my Make America Great Again hat because we should all be part of the MAGA agenda. Make Am Yisrael great again, not an Am Yisrael of Art Scroll, not an Am Yisrael of Zonav, as opposed to the Tuchas Shuklers, as opposed to we should be L'Rosh V'L'Zav, we should serve Hashem by learning Be'iyod and not shuckling our Tuchas, right, like they do with their lattes in shul, right? And they tell you your Averis make you even better. Okay, it's all Atzasiyetzer, it's all. Those guys are, who tell you, those guys tell you the Ra is Toiv, and that's what I was alluding to for. They're still in the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. That for them, Purim is just one big Sitra Achra party, and they give koach to the Klippas, right? They're not getting past how Ra is an illusion and in a Milvado, and if you really believe that, you will redouble your efforts in steiging and resisting the Ra, right? Not giving into your taivas, and you say, because my taivas aren't real, the resistance isn't real. A person who understands that the rise, that the rise in service of Tov is Oived Hashem, b'mesiras nefesh, maushli has the encouragement to do it because I can win, right? Not that when I fail, I'm still good, right? And I saw it as I spoke against, who those who pervert the Torah of the Meshilach. Shem Yazor. There's one person online, listen to me right now. One person online. I want that one person online to identify himself. Who is this real Jew who is listening to you right now? If you're online right now, type me a comment. I want to see who you are. There's one person online right now. I think David Orden left us. He said not alone, and then he leaves. Dave, come on. I put so much kaichus into you, Dave. I taught you elementary, rudimentary Yiddish, the maximum that a Ner Israel boy like me knows. You're a vac of Weinberg. One of the most memorable things say. And you were from the time you were born? I said, yes, Rebbe. And how is it that you do not know the most basic Yiddish? Yes, I was learning with him. He said an expression Yiddish. I asked him, what does Shiva mean? And you were always from. I was always from Shabbos Shiva. And how is it that you do not know the most basic Yiddish? Lanu. I miss him so much. I miss Ramesh Shapiro so much. I'm all alone. Dave, you're wrong. I'm alone. You'd be more engaged with me if you'd want to prove to me that I'm not alone. Ethan Weissenberg. Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Hi. Where are you guys? There's one guy online right now. Unless the screen is just showing me. I'm the one guy online. Who's online right now? Comment. Join my Purim Suda. No. Why do I have to be all alone? If you're online, it means you're a Dorish Emes. Type something. Type something now. Right now. Khan. Ask a kasha. I'm here. I'll answer your questions. Where do you get it there? I'm here to answer your questions. No. And Zell to that number, give a donation. Or go to that link and do a credit card donation. No. Where are you guys? Okay, we're taking a brief break. We will resume in about another half an hour. Because since the one guy who's online is refusing to type a comment, whoever's online right now, type a comment. Type a kasha. No, come on. Here's your chance. You have Rabbi Beckhoff at your disposal. Go ahead. Type a kasha. Type aura. Type a criticism. Go ahead. No. The one guy that my system says is online. Come on. All right, we're taking a half an hour break. We will resume before Shkia. Less than Shkia, okay? Less than Shkia. Before Shkia, Eastern Daylight Savings Time.